Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. Today I have another top 5 video for you guys, and this one is about the top 5 features that most people don't use. Some of these were much more common back in the day, while others barely anyone used ever. Some of these are so rare you haven't seen them in years, and some you might not even know existed. Some are helpful, while others are useless. We're not looking at vehicles or guns, but instead general gameplay elements that most people don't use today. We're also going to examine why people don't use them. Now, let's get started. Starting off at number 5, we have the Yacht Captain. The Yacht Captain came out with the executives and other criminals in 2015. One of the features of the update was the new contact, the captain. Even though most people own yachts, very few people actually use the captain's features. I haven't in years. The Yacht Captain gives 3 abilities. First, let's start with the ability to spawn a helicopter nearby. This costs $1,000, but it doesn't always spawn nearby. You can see my yacht is south of LSIA, and technically the closest helicopter should spawn at the airport, but it doesn't. It spawns all the way back here on these docks. It does spawn a Super Volito Carbon, which is one of the fastest helicopters in the game, but it's not really worth it when you can always spawn a Buzzard with your CEO or an Oppressor with an MC and just go straight to your yacht. There's also a boat option for $750, which spawns a dinghy, one of the fastest boats in the game, but still, why use this feature when you can just spawn a Buzzard or an Oppressor? However, the most useful feature of the Captain, and this one is free, is to spawn a personal vehicle. If you're on the yacht, it will spawn your vehicle closest to the shore, which is nice. Finally, there's an option to move your yacht. You have to go to the top deck to do this. I have not seen many people move their yachts. I haven't moved my yacht in months. They oftentimes just spawn their yacht in a lobby and it's always in a random location because other people have yachts there too. But why does it cost $25,000 to move your yacht? You know, I can understand across the map, like all the way across the map, but if you try to move it so close, just a few hundred meters, like 200 meters, it's always $25,000. I'm not an expert on yachts or anything, but I highly doubt that it costs $25,000 to move a yacht like 200 meters. At number 4, we have the Merriweather abilities. I know what everybody's going to tell me, but people call mercenaries all the time. Yes, they do. Mercenaries are the most used feature with Merriweather, but everything else is barely used. The first feature is ammo drops, which aren't used anymore simply because people can just buy ammo from the interaction menu, so they really have no need to call Merriweather to spawn an ammo drop. The other is the backup helicopter, which is pretty much useless. It can't keep up with most vehicles, and it does a really bad job of protecting you. My friend tried to shoot me to test it, and look at what the helicopter does. It doesn't even hurt him.
They're not dealing any damage.
And it gets even worse. After a few minutes, the helicopter just leaves. It doesn't stay until it gets blown up, it just leaves. There goes your $5,000. Next, we have the boat pickup, which I guess can be useful if you're stranded in the water, but most people just kill themselves to respawn at shore. Even if you get in the boat, the driver travels really slow, and you can shoot him and take it, but then you can't call Merriweather for a number of minutes. We also have the helicopter pickup, which isn't really useful, but I do think it's kind of cool, because when it takes you to your destination, you can rappel down. I wish more helicopters had this ability. It would make it really cool. I wish more helicopters had this animation where you can just rappel straight down. We have the mercenaries option also, but many people already use that, so we're just going to ignore it. And finally here, we have the airstrike for $8,000. This is very useless, as you only have limited time to throw the flare, or the jets pass you and then you can't use it. You have to be pretty close to the target to make it effective, and throwing this flare makes you exposed to enemy fire. Even if you throw it, the airstrike won't always hit the target. Just look at this. I tried to get it as close as possible, and it failed to hit the target. Next at number 3, we have VIP challenges, and I guess we could add MC challenges too, but here we're focusing on VIP challenges as some can be pretty profitable. I don't see many people playing them. If anybody's going to do VIP challenges, they're much more likely to do point to point. That's the number 1 played VIP challenge. It's the best one too. You can just mark a location on your map. It can be pretty close outside the red circle. You go to it, easy 10,500. You just split it with your friend. Easy $5,000 for less than a minute of work. You can do these every 10 minutes. And you can do these challenges after VIP work too. There's also salvage, where the game wants you to compete collecting underwater checkpoints, but it's the most profitable. If one person takes a scuba diving suit, they can swim underwater forever and swim much faster. Each checkpoint you pick up increases your value. It starts at $50 and then goes all the way up to $500 per checkpoint. Have one person pick them all up, If the other player hovers over the area, like in a helicopter, they can get an extra $2,000 to $3,000. Once you collect all the checkpoints, you should have close to $40,000. You will get an extra $17,000 for winning. Split it with your friend. Give them the full cut from the $17,000, as they didn't get that, and then you keep the $20,000 for collecting the checkpoints. Another one I like is market manipulation. It works the best with an armored Kuruma. You race to each store to see who can rob the most stores. The bigger the combined total, the greater the bonus will be at the end. Here at the end, we got a combined total of $16,000, and I made a $25,000 bonus for winning. Compete with your friends or split it with them. There's so many more challenges. I don't want to talk about all of them because then it will take up the whole video, but try these challenges if you haven't already. Some are pretty good and they're pretty fun. There's so many challenges in this game. And also on the PC, you can't split cash, but you can still do the same strategies with the VIP challenges. What you have to do on the PC is, like when you're doing point to point, have one person take the full cut instead of splitting it because you can't split, and then have the second person take the full cut, and you just keep mixing it up. One person takes the full cut, second person takes the full cut, then first person takes the full cut. Do that versus splitting the money. You can still do the same strategy on the PC. At number 2, we have the taxi. This is probably the least used one on this list, as think about it. When is the last time you saw someone use a taxi? It's because it's a waste of time. If there was a fast travel option, I guarantee you a lot more people would be using it. They should really update the taxis to allow a fast travel option, but there isn't. You just ride in your taxi, and here you can see me speeding this clip up, but I had it take me all the way up to Paleto Bay. The taxi is something you might want to use for fun to mess around with your friends, but there really isn't much more use for it than that. I'll be honest, this is the first time I've used a taxi in years, because there's just so many more vehicles to use. I mean, if you go AFK, you get in a taxi, and you have to drive you somewhere far, I mean, then it might be useful, but not really useful anywhere else. Before I unveil the number 1 least used feature, I have 2 special mentions to make. The first one is Lester Locate a Vehicle ability. The only time people really used this was during that Locate a Plane glitch months ago. I mean, think about it. When is the last time you heard someone calling Lester to find a vehicle? I mean, at least it's free now, but it's pretty useless. You can only use the vehicle for some time, and then you get cops if you destroy it, and then even if you leave the vehicle, you'll also get cops. And I mean, sometimes I guess it could be useful, like here I got a cargo bob, I guess that might be useful for a mission, but still, almost nobody is going to do this. And there's also Locate a Car, which I don't even know why anyone would use that at all. Why would you need to locate a car? There's cars all over the place. I went over here, I was just curious to see what kind of vehicle I would get, and I got a limo. I had to drive all the way across the city to get to it. So it defeats the purpose of spawning a vehicle. I gotta drive all the way to it, and then I get something like a limo. You know, at least it could have spawned like a sports car, or maybe something fast, but no, it spawns a limo. So the Lester Locate Vehicles, at least it's free now, but it's kind of useless. Nobody uses this feature. Almost nobody uses this. I can't think of one person that uses this. The other special mention is emergency services. Almost no one uses this either. You can spawn the fire department, paramedics, or police to your location. They can take pretty long to get there. You know, here, it took them almost 2 minutes to get here. The only time I've seen people use this is when they need a cop car for the prison break setup or an ambulance for the Doomsday heist. Other than that, it's not really used. I mean, when do you really need to call the emergency services? The last time I did it was during a heist. And the number 1 least used feature is the luxury helicopter. The taxi people probably use the least amount, but I decided to put this as number 1 because it's such a useful feature and I don't see anyone using it. I barely see anyone using this. A lot of people actually think the luxury helicopter is just spawning a general helicopter with champagne. It's much more than that. To spawn a luxury helicopter, you need to either go into your CEO interaction menu, go into CEO abilities and spawn it for $5,000, or call the assistant. In both cases, it's the same thing. It's easier to spawn it from the CEO menu, so I recommend doing that. When you spawn a luxury helicopter, it will spawn pretty close to you, so you don't have to go a far distance. It's usually down the street. Now, I know what some people are going to ask me, but can't you just spawn a buzzard? You could, but the luxury helicopter does something that the buzzard doesn't do. It fast travels you. That's right, this helicopter can be used as a fast travel point to your office, vehicle warehouse, or CEO crate warehouse. Take a look at this. I fast traveled from Paleto Bay all the way to my Maze Bank office tower in less than a minute. In less than a minute, I was able to fast travel across the map. You could also fast travel to a safe house with a heist invite, and then get out of the heist, but that requires having a heist open. Here, you can fast travel with the helicopter anytime. This is very useful, especially when you're very far from where you want to go, and also, it can get you out of bad situations pretty quickly. I remember when I would get attacked by other players, people were bombing me with jets or something else, I would call in a luxury helicopter. I would also use it to get my friends out of war zones, because you can take 2 other people with you. If you're using it to try to get away from someone, I would recommend that you go off the radar, because while they can't see the helicopter spawn on their radar, they can see you get in and blow you up before you have a chance to fast travel. Once you get in, just fast travel and you are out of that bad situation. People have accused me of hacking when I used a luxury helicopter to get away from them, simply because they didn't know about it. A lot of people don't know about this feature, and it's one of the most useful in the game. When I made a lot of my CEO money guides years ago, I told people to take advantage of the luxury helicopter. When I looked at the comments, I saw so many people saying, wow, I didn't know about this helicopter, thank you. I hope more people take advantage of the luxury helicopter fast travel now. It's a very useful feature. And that is that for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like. If you're new to my channel and enjoy my content, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.